Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel, Fit a Little Bit. This video is going to be a little different from the previous videos. This video is going to be about relationships. I have had a trying week this week, talking to people about relationships. And the two main causes of a breakdown of a relationship or divorce is usually money and sex. Or sex. And usually in that order. It seems to be the trend that when the money is gone, the sex stops and nobody's, in love anymore. I've learned over the years that, your basis of a relationship cannot be money. It's just not. It's supposed to be about just because, I love you. And you're going to have trying times in a relationship, and that could be money. But when the money is gone, you're not supposed to, fall out of love, and you're definitely not supposed to stop sex. I don't know what would be the reason to stop sex, but, I don't know what reason I would. But anyway, a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, a gentleman told me this, and I didn't believe him at the time, but he's correct. He said a relationship, or a long-lasting relationship, or marriage is about finding someone who can put up with your shit and whose shit you can put up with. I didn't believe him at the time, but after, numerous relationships, I think he is correct. Maybe not the word shit, but having someone that whatever their little nuances is, or little, whatever their issues are, don't bother you. You can tolerate it, and they can also tolerate yours. Without further ado, this video would basically be about the reasons you left your mate, okay, are the same reasons why you should not return. I don't really believe people change. I think they try to change. I even think they want to change. But you really are, who you are. And I don't really advise people, to return to other people who they left, for whatever reason. For example, if you are dating someone and you're insecure, or they're making you feel so insecure where you have to check their cell phones, you have to call them at work all day, you have to ask them a bunch of questions, that's an issue, and that relationship is probably not going to work. And if you leave them for that reason, that should be the reason you should stay gone. And I know people are going to say, well, that's crazy. That person is insecure. Well, you know what? You know that person is insecure, okay? You got to take people at face value. You know they're insecure. So as the other person, you have to do things to reassure them. It may seem like a job, but if you really love them and want to be with them, it's not a job. It's just part of the relationship until that person becomes comfortable. People are insecure for a variety of reasons. Maybe they've already been cheated on, and you have to accept them where they're at, and you work through it. So if you are insecure and the person is not, trying to accommodate or work with you and work through your insecurities with you, then you need to just go continue on about your business, because I just don't think that they're going to change, and it's not worth it. Being in a relationship where you're so uncomfortable for whatever reason that you have to go through all of those changes, okay? Another reason, which is how it ties into money. I talked to a couple, and their issue was money. They would put their monies in the bank account, and they were supposed to pay bills with the money. Instead, one of the mates, it's just a coincidence that it was a male, he's at the club and he's popping bottles and buying lobster or whatever you do, at the club or at the strip club. And they had rent checks, bouncing, car notes and things that are behind. And and they're just dating. That is just a red flag all day. And I believe that the woman definitely loved him and probably wants to be a wife. I don't know if he can change. I don't know if getting a budget, I don't know if counseling would help him. I don't know if maturity and time would help him. But that's a red flag. And she left him. And so they were trying to figure out, he was trying to figure out how he could get her back. And he just has to be a better person and move on to the next person, because I wouldn't advise her to go back to him. He's irresponsible. Will he become responsible? Who wants to take that risk? I mean, at what you should know to pay your rent or pay your car note versus going to the bar and buying a bunch of drinks or a bunch of dip or whatever you're doing. I mean, you can go to the club and have a good time, but you don't mismanage the budget or risk your home to have a good time. So like I said, people do, I don't think people change. I think they acknowledge whatever the issue is, but whatever reason you left him, if those things you can't tolerate him or her, you just do not go back. I mean, it's just a vicious, a vicious cycle. I've had someone come talk to me and they said, I love him, but I just can't stand how he always just passes gas just out anywhere, at home, on the couch, in public. He says, excuse me, and it sounds genuine, but it's just embarrassing. And subsequently, they did separate. Hey, he rude and he inconsiderate, and yes, passing gas is natural. However, I mean, you can feel when the gas is coming. Going to another room, going to the bathroom, especially when you're in a public place with other people or friends. It's just rude, and really it's just nasty. Yeah, it's natural, but it's also nasty. And I told her, if that's some shit you can't put up with, then you're going to have to go. If it's bothering you to the extent that you got to talk about it to a third party, which is me, you're talking about it, so you're upset about it. He knows that, and he's acknowledging that he knows, and he hasn't even tried to change any of that. Then you just got to blow that popsicle stand. You just have to go, because I don't think that people will change. On the flip side, I know I talk about the guys a lot, but on the flip side, a gentleman was complaining because all his girlfriend does is spend her money on looking good. Her thing is, when you met me, I was looking good. So his issue was, well, whatever way you was looking good when I met you, keep sponsoring it that way. Well, she had, of course, she was dating multiple people at the time, and she didn't want to continue that because they were trying to just be one-on-one. Again, that's irresponsible. If she's so unhappy when she's not spending, if she has to spend or has to buy all these things where it makes her unhappy, and she's not willing, to sacrifice, then he needs to go on his way. Not saying that she's a bad person or anything, but she may be happier or more comfortable with someone who can help her maintain that type of lifestyle and look, because he wanted her to slow down some of the spending and maybe concentrate on paying some of the bills and getting, things set up so they can, invest and grow. And that's just not where she was. And he kept trying to date her and kept trying to go back and forth with her. And it's just not going to work. People are not where you're at, and they don't want to, you don't want to put up whatever crap, that they are issuing out. Then, you have to leave them. I mean, it's okay to have your nice car, but why are you driving around in a convertible Jag or a convertible BMW and your bills, have not been paid? I mean, you want not a payment plan. You can't even do a payment plan. You just shut off protection, and that's just irresponsible. And like I said, if the repo man is looking for you, to me, your hair should not be done, because you need to be taking your money trying to get you a wig instead of getting you, a bundle of Malaysian hair. Just do a wig or something for a minute until you can get that repo man off your back, because you need those wheels, to get to work. And I told him, I said, these are just all red flags. I mean, this is supposed to be the future lady of the house. You may have children, and you have to think about that. And if she's not willing to invest in the relationship or invest basically in herself and her future, you going into a bomb. It's just not going to work. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she will change, but this season will be over and she will miss out on him, or he will miss out on her. And I told him, don't stay in it and drag yourself through it. Meet people exactly where they're at. And if it will work, then you stay there. If it's not working, then you have to go. Otherwise, you're miserable. Life is too short to be miserable. And you need to be with who makes you happy and who you're happy with, and that goes both ways. So that's my whole spiel today on relationships and divorce, because I had a financial relationship week. I mean, every other day it was some questions and some issues about finances and the relationship, and should I stay? And my answer is the same. People are who they are. Don't try to change them. Accept them where they at, or leave them where they at, and you go on. Don't stay in a relationship trying to change people. You're going to be miserable. They're going to be miserable, first of all, because who the hell want to be changed? That's number one. And number two, you're going to be miserable because you're going to feel like you're tractor pulling them, and you don't want to pull somebody into making them what you want them to be, because subsequently when you stop pulling, they're going to stop being this pretend person that you've made them to be. All right. Thank you for coming to my channel, Fit a Little Bit. This is our whole emotional relationship fitness portion of it. Please subscribe to my channel, and I love all comments, you know, good or bad. And if there are any topics that you want to talk about or you want me to expound on, just please let me know in the comment box. Thank you.